the one-timers here. We got Matt on the phone, Justin here. We talked about all the groups up to Group D. Let's get down to Group D. And this one's going to be, I think, a very interesting group. You got Uruguay coming out of South America, Costa Rica, England, to all of our British listeners out there, and Italy. Chris Sims, if he's listening. England in Group D with some tough competition in Italy, Costa Rica, and Uruguay.
Definitely a fun group. Definitely, I have this picture of Andre Pirlo looking like he should be in my GQ magazine with his long hair and his beard. Let me tell me some sort of cologne flowing in the wind. But and then you got one of the most decisive players in soccer, probably. Luis Suarez, who is a little mental. One moment he's getting suspended for racist remarks. One moment he's going Mike Tyson, trying to fight somebody. So, I mean, I don't know what to make of him. I mean, and then the next moment I see him scoring almost a three-quarter pitch lofted goal against the Norwich Canaries. So I don't know if he's focused. There's two guys in this group that are kind of. I'm not sure about their mental well-being all the time. Mario Balotelli and Luis Suarez, but they can either be the most talented guy in the tournament, or they can get suspended and kicked out of the tournament in the first 20 minutes. So maybe a little more Suarez and Balotelli's just a little update, and who knows. But and then you got England, who seems like they have all these poster boys for soccer that are just. When I growing up liking soccer, there's watching Premier League, all these guys that you see all on TV, they're on ads, but it doesn't seem like they produce JT. I don't know what to make about England.
Yeah, it is very tough. I'm one. I mean, you and I both. We love Stevie G. Steven Gerrard is such a game changer, and I watched the Euro. 2 years ago, I thought England produced one of the best sides that they've had in a while. And it just, they made it out of the group. There obviously was the debate with, John Terry clearing off the ball off the line against Ukraine. Did that go in? Did it not? But I really feel like some of these guys, Frank Lampard, Milner, Joe Hart's kind of a new on to the scene, but it's kind of an interesting blend of some younger guys, and like Daniel Sturridge, but then also those older veterans that have been around for a while, and I don't want to say it's like the same team, because there's other teams that are kind of the same way. We'll talk about Italy in a moment, but it's kind of the same team, in a sense.
Yeah, doesn't change that much. I think the thing for me, I look back. I used to really follow England and love a lot of their players more than even now. And I remember in 2006, that team for me on paper was so good. And I thought that team literally was going to make the semifinals. And I just remember, this guy named Cristiano Ronaldo, who I'd never heard of until when they played Portugal. He was just running like a spring chicken up and down the sideline. I don't know. He had those energy that I know where it came from. And on paper, this England team is so good, but I hope maybe the youth does it for them, but I don't know. I think from Rooney, I feel like his role changed a little bit. I don't know if they're going to play him as striker. I feel like he's going to play a little bit more of an attacking midfielder or a wing kind of a wing at Manchester United. So I don't know. I wish Peter Crouch was available. I don't know. I don't think he's playing, but I think that'd make it a lot more fun. But definitely a team that underachieves. We'll see what happens. But then definitely one of those high-profile teams. All their players that are always in the spotlight.
Yeah, that 06 World Cup. Do mind you, Ronaldo? There was a lot of talking to the referee that eventually got Rooney a red card. You wondered how much. That was very influential because they ended up going to penalties, and as I'm sure anyone that's out there that knows a lot of World Cup knowledge, England in a penalty shootout is almost a sure bet they're not going to win it. I mean I don't want. No, England as a country is not very good at penalty shootouts. On the flip side of it, though, English clubs always win penalty shootouts. So I don't know how you figure that out. But
Who knows?
yeah, who knows? You know, and this is the thing that I'm trying to toy with here, because England, when they played Italy, it came down to a penalty shootout in the Euro. Obviously, England lost because they're terrible at penalties all the time. But the fact that they played with such a great Italian squad, played up to the level, they got, I believe it was a 0-0 draw that sent into penalties. That proves to me that really, there's a couple different pieces in the puzzle for England now. But that proves to me that they can compete with some of the best. But with that being said, I think they have they kind of got, this whole World Cup, I think everyone is very good. There's not any teams that, you're like, how did they get there, in a sense. But I think, you mentioned it with Luis Suarez, Cavani for Uruguay, as well as Diego Forlán. I'm not sure if he's playing in this World Cup or not, but he was fantastic in that 2010 World Cup. I think Uruguay, we'll get to Argentina a little bit later, but I think Uruguay, to me, is better than Argentina. I think Uruguay has a better chance of winning it on South American soil than Argentina does. That's obviously up for debate, but Italy is a very good squad. They had a miserable 2010 campaign, but fired back, had a fantastic Euro 12 where they really contended with Spain and then lost to Spain in the final. Actually, fun fact, they actually outpossessed Spain in the first half of that final. The problem was in the second half, they used all their subs, and then I forget who it was, had a hamstring issue, so he had to get pulled to they're playing down to 10 men, and that's when Spain really broke open the game. So anyone that's you're just looking at the score saying, 4-0, how did Italy contend with them? They actually were, just kind of a stroke of bad luck there. But, Pirlo is really a maestro out there in the field, and as you mentioned, Mario Balotelli, he single-handedly broke Germany. Germany was the only squad anyone thought could really contend with Spain in that Euro, and Balotelli single-handedly dispatched them in that semifinal. And then you got my man Gigi Buffon in the goal between the post still. I think Italy is a squad to be reckoned with this World Cup.
They kind of remind me of a little bit of Spurs, a little bit of the Patriots. There's one of those teams in sports that I don't know what they do or how they do it, but they seem to just win they win almost every close game they're in, and they're always in the right position to do it. And, I don't know how old Pirlo's getting up there, but he just keeps on getting it done. He's probably, in my opinion, probably the best in free kicks. I think he's the best in free kicks in the world currently, if you had to ask me.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's tough. I think Uruguay's gonna win. They're not the same continent, so there's help there. Suarez is definitely top 5 player, maybe top 3 according to a lot of people. It's hard to argue Neymar out of it, but I just think it's tough. I'm not. With all the England players, all the young players, I know Sturridge seems like half the team is from Liverpool. I know they have Sturridge, I know they have Gerrard, and a couple other Liverpool guys there.
I think
they've been good.
Glenn Johnson might be on there as well.
So then they've been good, and it'll be interesting to see the Liverpool battle when they play Uruguay with Suarez. But I think Italy are too crafty. I think they know how to get it done. I think the X factor there is can Balotelli put a few goals in, because if he does, it's going to be a tough year for England.
Yeah, I think, my pick, I think that Italy is going to win the group. I think Uruguay will get second and get out of the group as well. Obviously, when you have such a veteran squad in Italy, with a lot, there's a decent amount of pieces that won that 2006 World Cup that are still there, and then just with how talented Uruguay is, I think those two are the ones to get through. I will say this: I think that England will actually have a decent campaign. I think that they might tie Italy in the first game. I think their unraveling will be, though, that they lose to Uruguay in the second game, and I think that they will beat Costa Rica in the final game, and I think Italy will beat Uruguay and Costa Rica, and then it'll just end up being that Uruguay beats Costa Rica and England, so they would get out of there with 6 points, where England would just have 5.
Yeah.
What's
I
yeah?
don't know if we're ahead of ourselves, but if you're correct, and Colombia wins their group and Uruguay gets second, it's a juicy matchup in the first matchup game, Colombia versus Uruguay.
Yeah.
About that, but as we close out our group D,
All right.
delicious matchups.
Cool. So just to double check, Italy, then Uruguay for me. Is that the same for you as well, or do you have it switched around?
I got Uruguay winning the group.
Okay.
And I got Italy coming in second. So just say it.
All right. Cool. We'll take a look at Group E in just a moment here.